Et salut à tous et à toutes, c'est Zifle Phoenix, désolé pour ces petits moments d'absence sur la chaîne. Je voulais juste venir vers vous donc aujourd'hui avec cette nouvelle vidéo donc qui est une narration en anglais d'une histoire qui s'appelle 11 Miles, qui est une creepypasta. Donc j'aimerais en fait me diversifier un peu sur la chaîne. Comme vous avez pu voir, je suis passé des vidéos de Joe, vidéos d'Airsoft. J'aimerais tester un petit peu un nouveau type de contenu qui me passionne particulièrement, c'est-à-dire la narration d'histoires ou sur des creepypastas ou d'autres choses. Donc on va commencer avec cette histoire, donc comme je l'ai dit, qui sera en anglais. Voilà, donc bonne écoute et sur ce, à la prochaine. Ciao. Do you have something that you truly, relentlessly desire, despite your style of life? Is there something else that you will go completely to the end of the world to get? Well, lucky for you, there is a way to achieve what you're looking for. And you won't need to go to the end of the world to get it. But you will need to go somewhere, and that place may be too out of reach for some. It's not that far away, closer than one may believe, but there's some requirement that many individuals may not possess. First, whatever it is that you seek, know that you must seriously desire what you want. In your eyes, it should be something that you need. If you begin the journey without the correct state of mind, you will surely fail, as it will be near impossible to turn back once the journey starts. The second requirement is that you will need a vehicle of a sort. Most choose a car, as it gives one a false feeling of protection, which may be what gets you through. There have been selected few that have used small motorized vehicles such as an ATV or a motorcycle. But this has proven to be quite difficult, as the conditions of the journey can prove to be too, bothersome, even during its early stages. Do not use a vehicle too large or noticeable, as you will need some of the cover of the night to be most safe. Also, what any sort of car will do, you may not want to choose the most expensive or cherished vehicle. You can take your slick, new black Mercedes for a drive if you like, but don't expect it to come out in a pristine state. Make sure your vehicle is completely fueled before beginning the drive. The first task to accomplish is to look at the road. It doesn't have a name, it's not on a map, and technically it doesn't even exist. It will only show up if you're looking for it at the right time. And you will only spot it if you know what to look for. Finally, you must be alone during the journey. You didn't think you'd be able to go with a group, did you? It must be night when you begin the journey. Choose the time of night where you believe the roads are the least populated. Drive to any area that is just a stretch of road surrounded by woods. Here, you want to start paying very close attention. If you're looking for the road, it will turn up eventually. But you need to search for the road's hint in order to pull down the right one. If you're close, you will see or feel some signs, but what the signs are will depend on what it is you desire. For example, if you're in search of wealth, you may spot shivers on the empty branches of trees as if they resemble the shine of gold or diamonds. If you seek love, you may begin to see rose petals slowly dancing in the light breeze, blowing in the road's direction. If you seek revenge or death, you might sense an ever-growing feeling of heat or anger in your body as you approach. Just know what it is you really want, and you'll have no problem finding the turn. Once you're sure you've found the revealed road, take a deep breath and turn down onto it. At this point, you have officially started down the nameless road, which brings you through 11 miles, leading to whatever it is you seek. Each mile will test your desire and will expose if you really do want what you're searching for. Before you go any further, stop your car and be wary of a few warnings. 1. Do not turn on the radio during a drive. 2. Do not use a phone during a drive, and anyway, reception will be cut off. 3. Do not open the windows during the drive. Make sure they are closed before you continue. If you are renting a vehicle without windows or a top, then you should prepare for the worst, as the odds are heavily stacked against you. 4. Do not attempt to leave your vehicle at any time, and I mean at any time. 5. You never want to exceed 30 miles per hour, unless you're really desperate to make it through a section of the road. And 6. Most importantly, as with any drive, buckle up. Feel free to prepare and make sure you're ready. Once the road has been entered, time has stopped, so you won't need to worry about losing the night. Though you may not notice, you're not actually in your own world anymore. Take one last moment to realize that once the first mile is over, there is no turning back. If you ponder turning back at any time, know that you shouldn't even be on this journey in the first place. Once all is done, start continuing down the road. On the first mile, you won't see much change. The road passes through mostly woods, with a few miles being an exception. The air will turn a bit colder, in which you should turn on your heating system if the vehicle has one. You won't want to take your eyes off the road later. Take some time to calm any uneasiness by admiring some of the night sky. You'll see it completely lined with stars, more than what you'll ever believe it's possible. If the weather was cloudy beforehand, you will also notice that the sky is now clear. On the second mile, the air will become even colder. This is probably the reason why traveling in an open vehicle is very difficult. With each mile, the air will drop in temperature, even if the season should be warm. If the air is too cold to bear, even with the heat on, your only option is to speed up. With each mile, the road also becomes more complex, taking more turns and showing an increasing amount of road hazards. Be sure to always keep focused on the road in front of you in order to avoid as many bumps or obstacles as possible. Hitting a few rocks or potholes will never your progress too much, but you want to keep in the best conditions for as long as possible, of course. If your vehicle is forced to stop because of damage, there is nothing left to do but eventually freeze to death. On the third mile, you may begin to spot silhouettes of human figures in the lining of trees. Pay no attention to them. Even if they seem to get closer, it will be harder to resist picking at their unnerving distant appearance, but know that they will reveal themselves later. At this mile, the road will become dirt if you weren't driving on it in the beginning. Keep to the center of the road, as it will become narrow and wide at random intervals. And a quick side note, should you ever attempt to turn around, despite all the previous warnings, you'll be left on a path which never ends. You will simply run out of fuel eventually and be left to death to freeze in the cold conditions. On the fourth mile, you will not only see more of the figures, but you will begin to, in a sense, hear them. In the back of your mind, a very faint, unintelligible whisper will echo. These will come and go, but you can't stop them. If they become bothersome or distracting, try and tune them out by thinking of what it is that you desire, attempting to listen and determine what the voices are saying will only attract them to you, and you will want to be far away from them as you can. They'll be closer later, so there's no risk bigger than near you this early. On the fifth mile, you will come to a clearing. The lining of trees to the left will disappear to reveal a lake with no end, with a bathing, great moon of little water. The illumination from the moon will be so spectacular that the vehicle's headlights will no longer be required. But restrain yourself from gazing at it. If you look at its light for even more than a few seconds, the learning from it will end, throwing your vehicle into the water, in which you will freeze in mere minutes. The voices will be gone for this mile, but don't rejoice yet. They'll be back. On the sixth mile, take into account that you're more than halfway done. Congratulations! Despite its progress, you may lose hope here. The stars will have disappeared at this point, leaving the sky an empty black abyss. The clearing will have ended, leading you back into the woods. The only light you will have will be provided by your vehicle's headlights, but they will flicker from time to time, even if you're sure they're in perfect working order. If you have a radio in the vehicle, it will turn on here automatically. If you didn't turn it off beforehand, it will produce an overwhelming screech that will send you off the road. A calm voice will then begin to speak about your greatest fears, what it is you're in real life. It will speak in a way that will cause you to realize its words in your mind, so don't listen to it. If you begin to comprehend what it's saying, the orders will prove too much for you to stay on the road safely. Attempting to turn off the radio won't do much. Speed up if you need to, just keep your mind off the voice as much as you can. As you approach the end of the mile, the voice will fade out of the speakers, leaving your ears at peace. For now. On the 7th mile, the voice of the figures will return. It won't sound like a whisper this time, but more like a distant scream growing closer with each second. At some point on this mile, you hear one of them in your ear, as if one of them were right behind you. This is because one of the figures have found their way into your vehicle. Do not turn around. Their faces will shock you into paralysis, leading you off the road. If you don't draw any attention to it, it will become uninterested, and hopefully leave you. These beings are said to be the ones who have traveled on this road, but were not successful. They'll leave the reminder of their existence suffering in the darkness, with their only goal being to bring other travelers up with them. It has been said from experience that these beings can't physically harm you, so as long as you don't cause you to wreck, you should be fine. On the 8th mile, slow down if you're going too fast. The road here takes very sharp turns, which if overshot will lead your vehicle into a pit through the trees. The coal is near fatal here. If you were to have a glass or bottle in your vehicle, it will freeze in 2 seconds. The heating system will have become completely obsolete. Your headlights will flicker even more, sometimes showing off for a few seconds. You should brake if this happens, but do not completely stop. The figures will be following you at this point, and you shouldn't stop for too long. They will surround you and trap your vehicle. More of their screams can be heard from outside your door, sometimes even sounding of a maniacal laughter. Their hands will claw at your windows, desperate to reach and feel something living. Do not look at them. They won't block a windshield, and the last thing you want it to happen is to crash and be trapped in them. If you don't make it from here, pray that it's a freezing that ends you. On the 9th mile, your vehicle will stall. The headlights will shut off, as will all the other system inside. There's nothing you can do to prevent this. What you will need to do is close your eyes and restart immediately your vehicle. Keep your eyes closed, as the figures will have completely surrounded you at this point. The starting of the vehicle will threaten them, and they will all back away temporarily. This will give you a chance to start moving forward again. If you begin to hear the voices and the windows crack from the struggle, do not lose focus. The beings can alter the vehicle, but remember that still do not have the strength to physically affect you. You will hear nothing but their voices rampage in your mind, as there could be anywhere between a dozen or larger that hear you now. Once you start the vehicle, floor it, and slow it as long as you can to stay on the path. Once the mile is done, the beings will retreat. On the 10th mile, the voices of the beings will stop. If you were to look in your rear-view mirror, do not actually do this. You will see them following you, but not as if they were chasing. They are watching you as if they were seeing you off. As you go down the 10th mile, the road will become smoother, as if you were back on the 1st mile. The figures will be lying in the sides of the path ahead of you. They won't be after you, but they will watch you as you pass. Some have theorized that your beings are being oppressed here, that you have come a long way on the journey to what you desire. This is false. This is completely false. They are not oppressed, but they are happy. And they are happy that you are about to approach the final mile. They are happy because you are most likely going to your inevitable death. On the 11th and final mile, everything in your vehicle will lose power, as it did on the 9th mile. The vehicle will normally be immobile, but you will still be moving. An unknown force will be pulling you forward in the darkness. You will see a growing red light up ahead, as if it were a light at the end of the tunnel. Close your eyes and cover them. Do whatever it takes to make sure you do not see what you're about to go through. Covering your ears will also be helpful, but keeping your eyes covered should be a higher priority. The red light is another claiming, but there is no mood or light this time. Once it is entered, unrelenting and unconceivable noise will sound from all directions. No amount of bravery and conditioning will spare you from this sound. The cold will turn to a merciless heat, burning all parts of the vehicle. You will feel the illusion of the flesh being burned off your bones, that every part of you is being destroyed as you travel through screams and audible suffering. As long as you keep your eyes closed and resist the urge to see what you are, you will survive through the suffering. This will last a total of 31 seconds, but many fail to keep their visions closed during the time, and are left to the worst fate of the road. Where is this mine located? Those who have survived do not know. Some have named it the transmission from hell, but whether it's part of hell is debatable. After this final mile, power will return to your car. Stop your vehicle. Take a moment to possibly regain some of your sanity. Let the screaming in your ears begin to fade and know that you have nearly completed the journey, with the hardest task completed. Breathe and begin to drive forward again. Once, after only a kilometer, your vehicle will arrive at a dead end. Stop here and don't attempt to move again. Nothing will happen right this second, but do not be disappointed. Relax and close your eyes. Imagine in your mind what it is you've desired the entire time. It will most likely still be the same as when you entered, but with some, the desire may actually change through making a journey. Think about what it is you went through such terrifying and difficult means to acquire, and imagine assessing it in your hands. Once you have completely visualized this, slowly open your eyes. You will then find yourself at the beginning of the unnamed road, where you first began. This may confuse you, but know that you're finished. Your task is done. Your mind will then return to your reward. If what you desired was material, check in the back seat or in the trunk if the object is larger. If the object was small enough, it might already be in your pocket. If what you desired was not material, then do not be disappointed if the change is not immediate. Turn back to where you came from, and you will find in your life that what you wanted is here. You may have found the love of your dreams. You may have gained a natural and unimaginable power. You may have put your most hated enemy to the most satisfying revenge possible. You'll have no doubt gained what you deserved. So that the task is done, what's to catch? Is your vehicle cursed? Is there something you're about to lose? Is your death imminent? The answer to all of this is no, of course not. You've done your challenge. You've proved worthy of what you desire. As stated before, the sounds of the 11th mile will continue to exist in your mind, potentially causing you some vivid and unusual nightmares, but this should prove as nothing compared to what you gain. Now, one last question. Is there something else that you desire? Are you not yet satisfied? After all, you left right back where you started. The road is right in front of you. So, are you ready for another drive? If so, buckle up and move forward.